The Sunday of the Fathers, Trevor and Contact. Great are the accomplishments of faith, for the three youths rejoiced in the flames as though the waters of the rest came upon them. And the holy prophet Daniel appeared a shepherd to the lions as though they were sheep. So by their prayers, O Christ our God, save our souls. Rejoice, Bethlehem, prepare yourself. Ephrathah, the lamb is on her way to give birth to the chief shepherd. She carries in her womb the God-bearing forefathers, who will rejoice beholding him. And with the shepherds they will glorify the Virgin nursing him. A reading from the Epistle of St. Paul to the Hebrews. Let us be attentive. By faith he sojourned in the promised land, as though it were not his, living in tents with Isaac and Jacob, who were heirs with him of the same prophet. He looked forward to the well-founded city designed and built by God. What more shall I say? There is not time for me to give an account of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, David, Samuel, and the prophets. These were men through faith who conquered kingdoms, did what was upright, and earned the promise. They could keep a lion's mouth shut, put out blazing fires, and emerge unscathed from battle. They were weak men who were given the strength to be brave in war and drive back foreign invaders. Some returned to their lives from the dead by resurrection, and others, submitted to torture, refusing release, said that they would rise again to a better life. Some had to bear the being pilloried and flogged and even chained in prison. They were stoned, sawn in half, or killed by the sword. They were homeless. They wore only the skins of sheep and goats, and they endured hardship and were mistreated. They were too good for this world, and wandered around in the deserts and the mountains and in caves and ravines. These all won acknowledgement through their faith, and they did not receive what was promised, since God had made provision for us to have something better, and they were not to reach perfection except with us. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. The genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, son of Abraham. Abraham fathered Isaac. Isaac fathered Jacob. Jacob fathered Judah and his brothers. Judah fathered Perez and Zerah, whose mother was Tamar. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Aminadab. Aminadab fathered Nachshon. Nachshon fathered Samuel. Salmon fathered Boaz, whose mother was Rahab. Boaz fathered Obed, whose mother was Ruth. Obed fathered Jesse, and Jesse fathered King David. King David fathered King Solomon, whose mother had been Uriah's wife. Solomon fathered Rehoboam. Rehoboam fathered Abijah. Abijah fathered Asa. Asa fathered Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat fathered Joram, Joram fathered Uzziah. Uzziah fathered Jotham, Jotham fathered Ahaz. Ahaz fathered Hezekiah, Hezekiah fathered Manasseh, Manasseh fathered Amon, Amon fathered Josiah. And Josiah fathered Jeconiah and his brothers. Then the deportation to Babylon took place. After the deportation to Babylon, Jeconiah fathered Shealtiel. Shealtiel fathered Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel fathered Abiud. Abiud fathered Elachim. Elachim fathered Azor. Azor fathered Zadok. Zadok fathered Achim. Achim fathered Eliud. Eliud fathered Eleazar. Eleazar fathered Mathan. Mathan fathered Jacob. And Jacob fathered Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called the Christ. The sum of the generations is therefore 14 from Abraham to David, 14 from David to the Babylonian deportation, and 14 from the Babylonian deportation to Christ. This is how Jesus Christ was come to be born. His mother Mary was betrothed to Joseph, but before they came to live together, she was found to be with child through the Holy Spirit. Her husband Joseph, being an upright man and wanting to spare her disgrace, decided to divorce her informally. He had made up his mind to do this when suddenly an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, and he said, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because she has conceived what is in her by the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you must name him Jesus, because he is the one who is to save his people from their sins." Now all this took place to fulfill what the Lord had spoken through the prophet. "Look, the virgin is with child, and will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, a name which means God is with us." When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel of the Lord had told him to do. He took his wife home. Some spiritual reflections. Today, we have heard in the Gospel St. Matthew's rendition of the genealogy of Christ. Today we name the 42 generations from Abraham to Joseph. This list of people reminds us that the Son of God was born to be one of us. This last point is important. Yes, Jesus is one of us. He has a history, and that history is much the same as ours. It has its ups and it has its downs, just as any family does. However difficult the problem people have is, there's always a solution. St. Paul in today's epistle tells us what the ancestors of Christ did when they were in trouble. Having faith in the love of God always saved them. In the song made famous by Joan Osborne, "What if God was one of us?"